There are secrets that shield you, and then there are the ones that silently betray you. Not because you're reckless, not because you're naive, but because you spoke a little too freely, trusted a little too quickly, and forgot that silence is a form of armor. The real danger. It's not always what people hide from you. It's what you give away without even realizing it. One casual post, one offhand comment, one story you thought was harmless, and suddenly your privacy becomes public property. And in today's world, where someone is always watching, online, offline, in plain sight or in the shadows, those tiny crumbs of information can quietly map out your entire life. We live in an age that praises openness, but forgets that the Stoics, the ones who mastered control over self and soul, warned us, not everything deserves to be spoken. Because sometimes what you say becomes your weakness, and the world doesn't always give you a second chance to take it back. So in today's video, we're going deep into 5 things you should never share if you value your safety, your peace, or even your future. These aren't the obvious red flags, they're the quiet ones, the ones that slip under your radar until it's too late. If you appreciate what we're doing here, building a space rooted in self-mastery, clarity, and real talk, there's a simple free favor I'll ask. Hit that subscribe button. No pressure, just if this resonates with. Secret 1. Keep your wealth quiet. There's a moment after a big win when your chest swells with pride and you feel like the world should know. You landed the job, closed the deal, bought your first car or home. That excitement is real and it's human. It feels good to be seen, to be acknowledged, to finally show the world that all those long nights and silent sacrifices paid off. But here's the thing. Not everyone is clapping for you, and some are watching for all the wrong reasons. We live in a time where attention is currency, where posting your progress feels like part of the process. Bought a house, post it. New car, story it. Paid off debt, tweet it. We've been conditioned to believe that milestones only matter when they're witnessed. But in doing that, we've turned private victories into public vulnerabilities. Every photo, every caption, every finally made it moment becomes a signal, not just of success, but of status. And status attracts attention. Not all of it kind. Think about it like this. When you post a picture holding your house keys, standing in front of your new place with a big smile, what are you really revealing? You're not just showing joy, you're offering context. That photo might reveal your neighborhood, your street number, the quality of your door, or even the fact that you live alone. That image you thought was harmless, it can be dissected by anyone with time, motive, and a bit of curiosity. Aristotle once said, "The more you know, the more you realize you don't know." And when it comes to how people can use what you share, this couldn't be more true. Most of us aren't thinking like opportunists. We're thinking like optimists. We assume people are good, that our feed is filled with friends. But social media doesn't vet your audience. Your post can be seen by the friend of a friend, an ex-colleague, a neighbor you barely know, or worse, someone who knows how to use what you show. Rachel learned this the hard way. She was proud, rightly so. First home, bought with years of hustle and smart saving. She shared a few cheerful pictures, the welcome mat, the door number barely in frame, her hand clutching those shiny new keys. 2 months later, her place was broken into, not once, but twice. Nothing flashy about her lifestyle, no reckless oversharing, just visibility. That was enough. To the wrong eyes, visibility is opportunity. And for people looking for an easy target, Rachel looked like low-hanging fruit. Here's a truth people don't talk about. Criminals rarely target the ultra-rich. Why would they? The wealthy have surveillance, private security, lawyers on speed dial. They're a hassle, But you're accessible. You've got just enough to tempt, not enough to protect. You might think, well, I don't really have anything valuable. But to someone struggling, your not much looks like more than enough. Carl Jung wrote, "The privilege of a lifetime is to become who you truly are." But becoming that version of yourself, successful, stable, proud, doesn't mean broadcasting every step of the way. Especially not to a world where not everyone has your best interests at heart. We confuse self-expression with exposure. We think sharing equals empowerment, but sometimes the strongest thing you can do is withhold. There's a psychological trap here, and it runs deep. We post not just for connection, but for validation. That dopamine hit from likes, comments, and fire emojis. It feeds the ego, and ego loves applause. But the Stoics warned us about this. Seneca said, "We suffer more often in imagination than in reality. We imagine the crowd cheering. We imagine admiration. We rarely imagine the consequences." Let's break this down with a simple rule. Before you share something, pause. Ask yourself, who is this for? Why am I posting this? Is it to inspire or is it to impress? Because the answer can change everything. If it's for validation, sit with that. If it's to prove something, ask, to who? And why does their opinion weigh more than your own peace? Privacy isn't secrecy, it's discernment. It's knowing the difference between what's meaningful to you and what needs to be made public. It's protecting your life like a treasured manuscript, not because you're hiding, but because not everyone deserves to read it. Socrates once said, "The unexamined life is not worth living." But the overexposed life can become a minefield. Your finances, your lifestyle, your upgrades, these are not just facts, they're signals. And signals attract attention. That might sound dramatic, but it's the world we live in. Even your well-intentioned updates can be breadcrumbs for someone looking for a way in. So here's your practical takeaway. Stop giving away your financial blueprint. Don't discuss your income, bonuses, debts cleared, or splurges publicly. Keep the victories sacred. Share them, yes, but only with people who've earned the right to know. Your inner circle should be small, solid, and silent. The rest, let them guess. Next time you feel the urge to post that new car or remodeled kitchen, think twice. Not because you shouldn't be proud, but because your pride should serve you, not serve as bait for someone else. It's the difference between celebrating and broadcasting. One keeps your joy safe. The other hangs it out like a neon sign. And if you've ever been tempted to overshare, just remember this quote from Marcus Aurelius. "He who lives in harmony with himself lives in harmony with the universe." You don't need outside approval to validate your inner peace. You don't need to explain every win to feel like a winner. So protect your milestones. Keep your money talk private. Let your life speak quietly but powerfully. Because in a noisy world, silence is no longer just golden. It's strategic. It's strength. And it might just be the thing that keeps you safe. Secret 2. Protect your path, not post it. It's strange how easy it is to forget we're being watched. Not always by someone sinister. Sometimes it's just people scrolling, passing time. But sometimes, just sometimes, someone's watching with intention. Not to admire, not to connect, but to act. That's where things get dangerous. Not because you did anything wrong, but because you forgot how visible you've become. We live in a world where sharing your location has become second nature. Waiting at the airport? Snap a pic with your passport. At a beachside resort? Geotag it so everyone knows you're living the dream. A quick selfie at your favorite coffee spot downtown. Throw in the city name, maybe even the street. We do it without thinking because it's normal now, but normal doesn't always mean safe. What most people don't realize is that real-time location sharing is like hanging a blinking neon sign on your digital door that says, "I'm not home right now." And unlike your physical front door, there's no lock on that post once it's live. It's out there, open, permanent, and if someone's paying attention, really paying attention, that information is more valuable than any password you could give them. Let me tell you about Maya. She was vibrant, full of life, newly engaged. She and her fiancé took a spontaneous trip to Lake Tahoe. It was beautiful. Snowfall, pine trees, laughter in a cabin tucked away from everything. She posted everything in real time. The drive up, their cozy dinner, a selfie captioned, "No service, no stress." But someone was watching. Someone she'd cut out months before. Someone who hadn't forgotten her. He saw every post. And more importantly, he saw where she wasn't. Her apartment in Sacramento was broken into while she was still out in the snow. Nothing of real value was taken, no electronics, no jewelry. But her drawers were pulled open, clothes tossed, personal items moved. It wasn't about the stuff. It was about control, access. A twisted message that said, "I can get to you whenever I want." Now here's what most people get wrong. Maya didn't make a mistake by taking the trip. She didn't do anything wrong by enjoying her life. The mistake was the timing of her sharing, and that one detail, that timing, turned a beautiful weekend into a violation she'll never forget. Plato once said, "Wise men speak because they have something to say, fools because they have to say something." The same goes for posting. We share because we want to be seen, validated, connected. But what we forget is that visibility comes with cost, and if we're not careful, that cost is paid in peace of mind, or worse. There's a psychological need beneath all this. When we share where we are in the moment, it's often because we want to feel included, alive, part of something bigger than just ourselves. It's a way to say, "Look, I'm living too." But that impulse, when unchecked, becomes a security risk. We start handing over personal safety for digital applause, and that trade, not worth it. Carl Jung once noted, "Until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life and you will call it fate." We unconsciously broadcast our routines, morning jogs, weekly dinner spots, weekend escapes, and we call it content. But to someone with bad intentions, it's a schedule, a blueprint, a way in. Let's bring it closer to home. That morning run you post every day at 6 a.m. Now they know exactly when you're out. That weekly yoga class on Wednesdays at 7 p.m. They know where you'll be and where you won't. These aren't just harmless habits. To someone paying attention, they're access points. The Stoics warned us about this kind of exposure. Epictetus said, "Be silent for the most part, or if you speak, say only what is necessary." That wasn't just about conversation. It was about conduct, about power. There's strength in mystery, safety in privacy, and in a world obsessed with constant sharing, the one who keeps something for themselves, that's the one who holds the real power. So here's your action step. Delay your posts. Post that sunset after you're home. Tag the restaurant after you've left. Share your trip after your plane lands back. Not because you're paranoid, but because you're smart. And while you're at it, stop making your routines so public. You don't owe the internet a play-by-play of your life. If something's sacred to you, keep it sacred. You can enjoy a moment without documenting it for the world. You can live fully and still move quietly. Socrates once said, "Beware the barrenness of a busy life." We're so busy updating the world, we forget to protect ourselves in it. Your location isn't just a pin, it's your shield. And every time you overshare, you're poking holes in that shield. So ask yourself, who needs to know where I am right now? Is it really everyone, or just the people I trust? Because if it's the latter, There are better ways to stay connected than a post that 400 strangers might see. And here's the final thought I'll leave you with. If you ever feel that gut punch instinct that someone knows where you are and they shouldn't, trust it. That's not paranoia. That's your subconscious picking up signals your conscious mind hasn't yet processed. Your instincts are smarter than your impulse to share. Live smart, move in silence, share with intention. Because in this world, the people who stay safest aren't the ones with the loudest voices. They're the ones who know when to stay quiet. Secret 3. The more you share, the less you're safe. There's a strange irony in how we think about safety today. We install cameras, motion sensors, smart locks, and alarm systems, then proudly announce it all to the internet. It's like buying the best armor money can get, and then inviting strangers to come test its weak spots. Not on purpose, of course, but with one post, one casual comment, one "look how responsible I am" update, we unknowingly expose the very thing we're trying to protect. It's natural to feel proud of your efforts to secure your space. Maybe you finally upgraded from that flimsy lock to a full system with live monitoring. Maybe you installed a safe, tucked discreetly behind your clothes, like something out of a spy movie. But here's where things go sideways when you talk about it, online, in casual convos, in group threads filled with people you barely know. That's when protection turns into publication. Let me tell you about Greg, tech-savvy guy, just moved into a new home with his wife and baby daughter. He splurged on a biometric safe, top of the line, felt pretty invincible. So he joined this online renovation forum and, in the spirit of community sharing, dropped a post about it, mentioned the brand, how cool the fingerprint scanner was, even joked about it being tucked behind the suits like James Bond. Sounded harmless. 2 weeks later, that safe was gone. No mess, no damage, just a surgically precise break-in that took one thing and left everything else untouched. It wasn't random, it was calculated, and the thief didn't need a crowbar. They had the blueprint. What Greg missed, and what many of us miss, is that every piece of information we share creates a map, not just of our stuff, but of our habits, our security, our vulnerabilities. And the people who want to hurt you the most aren't always loud or obvious. Sometimes they're just quietly paying attention. Carl Jung once said, "In all chaos there is a cosmos, in all disorder a secret order." People with bad intentions often see order in our oversharing. They watch, they connect dots, they piece together what we casually mention, and from that they build opportunity. We don't need to scream our details to be heard. Whispers are enough. And online, everything echoes. The Stoics knew the power of restraint. Epictetus taught, "Be silent for the most part, or if you speak, say only what is necessary." That wasn't about being antisocial. It was about being intentional, because once words are out, they can't be taken back. And in the wrong hands, they become tools for harm. Think of your home like a fortress, not just physically, but psychologically. Would a general hand the enemy a map and say, "Here's where we hide the gold"? Of course not. Strategy isn't just about strength. It's about mystery. The less people know, the more secure you are. And that includes the people you think are harmless. The co-worker with nosy questions, the neighbor who jokes about your new tech, the random online follower who never comments but always watches. Information travels fast, and intention doesn't always follow logic. And it's not just about the systems you do have. Sometimes the danger is in what you don't. You say, "Oh, I don't need an alarm where I live," or "No dog, no guns, just me and my little house." You think you're being humble, but to someone with the wrong mindset, you just rang the dinner bell. Criminals aren't looking for a challenge. They're looking for low resistance. If you present yourself as an easy target, don't be shocked when someone calls your bluff. Plato once said, "A wise man speaks because he has something to say, a fool because he has to say something." Apply that to your personal safety. If your words aren't necessary, why share them? What are you really getting from telling someone how your house is set up or where you keep your valuables? Validation, a sense of being prepared? That's an illusion. Real preparedness is silent. It's knowing you've done what you need to and resisting the urge to talk about it. Here's what you should do. Stay vague. If someone asks what security measures you have, smile and say, "I'm covered." If they press, change the subject. You're not obligated to explain yourself. You're not being rude, you're being wise. Discretion isn't paranoia, it's power. Aristotle said, "The secret to humor is surprise." The same applies to security. Your defenses are strongest when no one knows they exist. That's what keeps people guessing, and it's hard to plan an attack when you don't know where the walls are. So ask yourself honestly, is what I'm saying making me look secure, or just making someone curious? Because curiosity is dangerous. It doesn't take much, just a few details, shared in the wrong place, with the wrong person listening. That's how opportunities are created. That's how trust gets twisted into access. And let's be real, this isn't about fear. It's about control. Control of your environment, your information, your boundaries. It's about being intentional with what you say and who you say it to. It's about protecting what matters without announcing that you're protecting it. In the end, you don't have to be paranoid. You just have to be precise. Your safety doesn't need to be flashy. It needs to be silent. Because sometimes, the most dangerous thing isn't what someone can force out of you. It's what you hand over freely, with a smile, thinking it's harmless. Secret 4. Don't share your weaknesses. Sometimes the most dangerous things we reveal aren't what we say in anger or what we shout from a rooftop. They're the quiet, heartfelt truths we share when we just want to be understood. We call it vulnerability, and in the right spaces, with the right people, it is powerful. It can heal. It can connect. It can even save lives. But the hard truth is, not all vulnerability is safe. Not all ears are kind. And not every audience deserves your inner world. We're taught to be real, to open up, to share your story. And there's value in that. But there's also risk, real, tangible risk. Because the moment your pain becomes public, it becomes available. Not just to those who care, but to those who calculate. Jordan learned this the hard way. Middle-aged, quiet guy, recently out of chemo. He wasn't seeking attention, just a little connection. He joined a local Facebook group and started sharing bits of his journey. The good days, the scary ones, the moments he was proud of. People responded with love, encouragement, support. But in that crowd of kind faces, there was one pair of eyes watching for something else. One night, while Jordan was home alone, numb from medication, too weak to react, someone broke in. No electronics were taken, no valuables, just drawers left open, closets rifled through. It wasn't about theft. It was about control. The intruder didn't want things. They wanted the feeling of power over someone who wouldn't fight back. That's the twisted part. The person didn't need a crowbar. They didn't need a weapon. They already had everything they needed. Jordan's posts gave it to them. Carl Jung once wrote, "The most terrifying thing is to accept oneself completely." But what's even more terrifying? Accepting yourself publicly only to have someone use that truth to find your weak spot. To turn your openness into opportunity for them. That's the part no one teaches us. It's not just about being cautious for your own sake either. When you casually mention that your daughter walks home alone every day at 3 p.m., or that your partner's out of town for a week, or that your elderly parent lives alone and sometimes forgets to lock the door, you're not telling stories. You're creating maps. Vulnerability isn't limited to your personal emotions. It extends to everyone connected to you. And once those details are out there, you can't control where they land or how they're used. That's why the Stoics, people like Marcus Aurelius and Epictetus, placed such a high value on self-governance, not just over actions, but over speech. Marcus wrote, "Ask yourself at every moment, is this necessary?" It's a question worth asking before every tweet, every post, every confession, not because you're trying to hide who you are, but because you're trying to protect what's sacred. And make no mistake, your pain is sacred. Your struggle isn't content. It's not a soundbite. It's not material for someone else's entertainment, judgment, or manipulation. It belongs to you, and if you choose to share it, it should be with people who have earned the right to hold it. Socrates said, "Be kind, for everyone you meet is fighting a hard battle." That wisdom holds true, but so does its opposite. Not everyone you meet is fighting a battle. Some are studying yours. Some are watching quietly, strategically, and asking themselves, where's the soft spot? And if you show them, they won't always show mercy. So what's the move? It's not about going silent forever. It's about being selective, discerning, honest, yes, but with intention. Share your journey, but not in the middle of the crowd. Find a few trusted people, a therapist, a mentor, a real friend, and build your release valve there. Private doesn't mean ashamed. It means you're wise enough to know that some things lose their power when they're exposed too early, too often, or to the wrong eyes. Aristotle taught that knowing yourself is the beginning of all wisdom. But knowing yourself also means knowing your boundaries. It means asking, what part of this is for healing, and what part of this is me wanting to be seen? Because visibility and safety don't always coexist. Sometimes the cost of being fully seen is being fully exposed, and not everyone plays fair once they've got that access. Let's call this what it is: emotional security. Just like you lock your doors at night, just like you password protect your phone, you need to protect your heart, your grief, your trauma, your exhaustion, because once it's out there, it's not just yours anymore. It's vulnerable to misunderstanding, to misuse, and to judgment by people who haven't earned the right to hear your truth in the first place. Here's the empowering truth. You can be strong without being raw in front of strangers. You can be real without being wide open. You can say, I'm going through something, without explaining every detail. And when you do that, you take your power back. You're not hiding, you're guarding. You're practicing what the Stoics called self-mastery, the ability to control not just your actions, but your expression. Because at the end of the day, protecting your peace is not selfish. It's survival, it's self-respect, it's strategy. And in a world where people collect stories like currency, your silence might be the most valuable thing you own. So treat your pain like gold, not because it's shiny, but because it's rare and valuable and dangerous in the wrong hands. Keep it safe, share it wisely, and never forget, your story is yours. No one else has a right to it unless you say so. Secret 5. Don't trade privacy for attention. to be a genius. They don't need fancy tech. They just need patience. They collect crumbs. They connect dots. And before you know it, they've built a profile that looks a lot like you, on paper at least. Plato once said, "The measure of a man is what he does with power." In today's world, power isn't just about influence or money. It's about information. And right now, we're giving that power away to strangers without even blinking. We're so focused on sharing that we forget the internet remembers everything, even things we wish it wouldn't. So here's what you can do. First, audit your online presence. Go through your old posts. Scrub anything that reveals sensitive data. Your family names, your school, your birthday, your hometown. And second, start using fake answers for your security questions. I mean it. Make them up. Pick answers only you would know, or better yet, store them securely in a password manager. If someone guesses Lucky was your first pet, but your answer was Teacup Fire Truck 39, they're going nowhere fast. Socrates once said, "The only true wisdom is in knowing you know nothing." That applies to your followers too. They don't need to know everything about you, especially not the parts of your past that can be turned into leverage. Think of your identity like a vault. Every detail you share, every post, every comment, every photo is either a lock or a key. Are you building security, or are you unlocking the door for someone else? It's time to shift how we think about personal information. It's not just data, it's access. And when that access falls into the wrong hands, it doesn't just cost you money. It costs you time, peace of mind, your reputation, and sometimes your entire sense of control. Aristotle taught that knowing yourself is the beginning of all wisdom. But in the digital age, that wisdom must include protecting what you know about yourself, not out of fear, but out of awareness. Because awareness is what turns noise into clarity, and clarity is what keeps you one step ahead. So here's the final thought. Before you post that fun fact about your past or take part in that harmless-looking quiz, ask yourself, who really needs to know this? And what could they do with it if they weren't on my side? Protect your identity like it's your passport. Because in this world, it is. And once it's compromised, getting it back isn't just a hassle, it's a battle. One that can be avoided with just a little more silence and a little more intention. What you protect says more about your power than what you reveal. In a world that profits from your openness, guarding your identity is a quiet act of strength and a declaration of self-respect. If this message struck a chord, there's more waiting for you. Tap into the next layer of awareness by watching one of the suggested videos on your screen. It's there for a reason, because this journey doesn't end here. Thank you for being a part of Stoic Journal, a space where thought meets discipline and wisdom becomes practice. Until next time, stay steady, stay discerning, and remember, your silence isn't emptiness, it's control.